Right then, so you're thinking, what am I going to do with this key looking thing? Because obviously you followed my tutorial so far, you made a ball, you attached a head and a beak last time, and you're thinking, it doesn't really look like a bird yet. So how do we make it look more like a bird? So we are going to attach the tail, which goes from the head down to the back, a wing on each side, and then 2 legs which run through the body, which hold the wing and the tail on, and then we're going to put an outer coating on just to hold it all together. So you will need the kiwi thing that we've obviously made before. If you haven't seen those videos already, go back and watch them obviously after that, and then watch this one again. Some wire. So this wire that we're going to be using for the tails and the wings is actually a thicker wire than the normal wire I use. It is 30 millimeters by 40 millimeters, the hexagonal shapes. And so this one is a 6 by 4, so that's for the tail. And then for the wings, again, same wire, the thicker wire, and it is 4 by 3. And we will also need some wire for the legs. So we have 8 pieces of this thinner wire here, which will get twisted up into the legs. And then for the outer layer again, which is normal wire we use, where I kind of measure it is for it to be kind of like a jacket to go around the bird. It doesn't have to go all the way around because it doesn't need a thicker wire. And tool wise, we need obviously our pliers and some cutters to cut the wire, a drill to make the legs, and a screwdriver, and some masking tape just to help us later on, which I'll explain later. So to make the tail, we need to stretch it, but we're stretching it kind of the opposite way to what we'd normally stretch the wire for making like the balls and the body. So we're just squeezing it all together, stretching it as really small, as tight as we can make it together until it all goes together. When that is all together, we're going to attach it to the body. So we're going to just take one end and just fold over just the end bit. You can use your pliers if you like, but it's easy enough to do it with your fingers really. And then we're going to attach it just above the neck, kind of like midway up the head. And we obviously want to make it in line with the beak, because the beak runs in line with the tail. So just tuck all that in to attach it at the top. Obviously if you need to, use the pliers to hold it in, and then it should be attached enough that you can hold it from the back. Don't move it around too much, but it should just about be attached now. And then we're going to fold it to like kind of where you'd think that its tail should go. So it kind of makes like a triangle there, push together, and then just squeeze it in at the bottom. So you're making it more into a feathered tail if you like, and then just keep squeezing until it all goes nicely in. And so when you get to the point where you're happy with its position, just tuck it in at the bottom again, fold each bit around into the body so it's nicely attached, and then to squeeze it, one last squeeze to bring it all together. And yeah, it should have a nice feathered kind of looking tail. Make sure it's all tight, and then it should be nicely attached to the top. If it's not, make sure it's all tucked in, give it a good feel, make sure nothing's popped out when you've attached it at the bottom to the top, and make sure it's fully in line with the beak, looking like it's going in the right direction. Obviously all these things you kind of feel, and now yeah, you can see I'm making sure it's fully attached by giving it a good shake. And then if anything comes out, reattach it, give it a good shake again, make sure it's all there and attached. So moving on to the wings, again we're going to stretch them out. So with the wings we make 2 mirrored pieces of wire here, so we're stretching it out kind of like a V shape, but very elongated V, because one end will be attaching to the body whilst the other end would be pointed. So again we're making them mirrored, so one will be the left side, one will be the right side. So here, if you see, I'm trying to match them up and keep one to the one on each side like that, and then just keep the other one there so I don't lose place of it. So same with the tail, just going to fold over the end to attach it to the body, and then just kind of find a way in. I want it to just overlap with the tail, and then just kind of go around the front of the body a little bit. And now I'm kind of eyeing up where I want the wing to go. So obviously it's going to be pointed at the end, so I'm just folding it up so it just isn't as long as the tail. It's a little bit shorter. And then just fold it over and squeeze it together really tight with the pliers, and now like you can see it's a nice V shape. And now we can do the exact same thing to the other side, but obviously mirrored. But so we're folding the tops, we squeeze it together, make sure it's kind of going to the right place, give it a good squeeze with the pliers. Obviously we know roughly now where we want it to go and how we want it to be folded, so give it a good squeeze. Now we're going to look to attach that to the body, so make sure it's all nicely folded over at the top. So we're going to aim again just to overlap with the tail, and then just to go around the front of the body. So get each piece there and give it a good twist in. Obviously you're not going round and round, you're just folding it over to kind of pinch it into place. And then again, same on the other side. Just make sure you're lining them up from the front and looking at it from the front and the back. Make sure both wings are going into the exact same place, otherwise it will look like a wonky bird. No one wants a wonky bird. You want it to look nice and uniform and symmetrical. So give it a good fold in. And obviously it's not all together now because that's what the outer layer will be for later, and the wings aren't going to hold on 100% now either, because again the legs are going to do that for us, which is what we're going to make next. Right then, for the legs then we're going to need our drill and 4 pieces of the thinner wire, and the wire is about 7 inches, 18-19 centimeters long. So we put them in the drill. The end drill bit will actually be where what we will use to attach it to the body. So we keep that at the top, and then just to measure, you want roughly about the same size as the body length again for the legs, and then for the feet you want a good 2 inches, 1 inch, like 3-4 centimeters. So wind it into your drill and then hold the area where you think your feet will be. So like I said, it's a good inch and a half, maybe 2 inches. And then just twist till it's a nice uniform shape, and then take it out, and then get the other one ready again. Do the exact same thing, place it in, push it right in to the end of your drill, because those bits will be what you use to attach it to the body again, and then give it a good squeeze in. You can use the drill to do it. If one falls out like this, don't worry too much, because the drill will still spin round. You just have to do it slowly, not too fast. If you do it too fast, it's going to fling everywhere, it's just going to look rubbish. So it's a nice uniform shape. So the next part for this is to make sure they're roughly the same shape, same size if they're not. Unravel a bit, and then add a bit of masking tape to the end. Don't put too much because it'd just be too hard to take off later. Trust me, I've made that mistake before. It's not the best thing. And now we're going to look to attach the legs to the body, and for that we've got to go through the body. So we're looking to line up with the tail, and then with the beak sort of area, and then just place in from underneath, not too far forward or it looks silly, not too far back or it looks just silly again, and just go through, and you're aiming to come out where the wing and the tail overlapped. So just push that, should hopefully just push through, so hopefully you've made a path with a screwdriver, and then again do the exact same thing on the other side. Try to make it as symmetrical as possible by getting it into the same place, and just push it through until it comes out the other side, again aiming for the same place again. I like to just put my finger when I pull it out over the hole, and then just push them all the way through, because then they're not gonna fall out. And then at the bottom, just kind of squeeze the wire back together so it doesn't look like there's a big gaping hole around where its legs are, and that will hold the legs into place at the bottom as well, so they don't move around as much. To kind of give it a good squeeze, make sure it doesn't look like mismatched. So hopefully the masking tape will come straight off, and then kind of like fold these over so they hook into the body, and then just give it a pull. If it doesn't go quite right, you can just pull it out and do it again, and give it a pull, push it down, give it a good pull, and then just start to twist in, trying to hide this wire as much as you can so it doesn't look completely out of place. and then that should be attaching the wing to the body as well. So give it in there, keep twisting until it's nice and tight and nicely attached to the body, and then do the exact same thing to the other side. And then when you're happy that they're all attached and firmly attached, just make sure everything's looking like it's kind of in the right place. The wings are in the right place. And now we're going to attach the outer coating, which will hold the wings into place, the legs kind of into place, I guess. But first thing we're going to do is poke the legs through the first hole there, and then pull it around. Now we don't want to stretch this wire too much because it just looks a bit nicer if it's just in its normal uniform shape. So we can actually bend the leg to go through the other side. And then we're just going to attach at the bottom, not too vigorously, but we're going to make sure the wings and the tail are exactly where we want it to first. And then we're just going to poke the bits in. Don't worry too much about massively poking them in. Just make sure there's no sharp bits, no bits that's going to catch your fingers, or bits are just going to come undone. It's going to look bad if you don't tuck it in. But don't worry too much about tucking it in, not like the other things either. So with the head, same things we've done with the balls really, and attaching the rest. We're just going to go round again, although we're not stretching it too much. We're just going to go round, poke in all the end bits so it's all nicely attached until they're all gone really. So just keep going till they're all gone. Now that's all attached, we move on to shaping the legs. So if you look at this bird here, they have like a backwards knee joint at the top, so we'll just fold that in, that's, a few millimeters in, fold it in so it's going forwards, so the legs are going forwards. And now we're going to do the feet. So with the feet, stretch them all out into like the right places. So you have one at the back and three at the front, and then just fold them. These are obviously too big, the wire, which is what you want it to be too big rather than too small, and then just fold them into a shape with your pliers, and then just fold over like a toe, a curled toe at the end, and then just snip off the ends so they're in the right place. Like, you can wait to snip it to the end if you like, if you're not too confident that you're gonna have them all at the right shape or the right size. But yeah, I like doing one after another, and then just give it a squeeze, and then just folding in the toes, which will obviously, these feet are a lot bigger than what a natural bird would be, but we want them to attach to a branch or something in the garden, so we make them a little bit bigger so they obviously stood up, because they don't have the benefit of having the claws that a real bird would have, or the muscle that the real birds will have to grip a branch. They're just pieces of wire obviously, so we make them a little bit bigger just so they can grip a little bit better. Also, when I'm making or bending the feet, I like to make sure each foot is facing the same way, like I'm bending it the same way on each side. And that is our robin done. I'm very happy with this one actually, it turned out really well. It definitely looks a lot better than it did at the beginning of the episode. And yeah, so we've gone through the whole stages from the original piece of wire to a ball, to adding the beak and the head, to now the legs and the wings. Now, if you can see here, I've got a painted one. If you'd like to see me paint a robin, let me know in the comments, leave a like. It's not just robins so I can make, we can also make a kingfisher. Basically the same principle, just slightly longer tail to wings, obviously much bigger beak. Blackbird, exactly the same principle as a robin really, just much bigger. So let me know what you want me to make next time in the comments. Yes, again, if you can like the video, comment, subscribe if you're feeling, particularly kind. It really helps me out. Yeah, all my links are in the description at the bottom. Goodbye.